And on that note, let's go towards our first run of the day, which is Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. 100% no new game plus, courtesy of superfluffykoala. Let's take it away.
Hello, I am not superfluffykoala. I am his commentator. My name is Tukil, and this is Ori and the Blind Forest, run by superfluffykoala. If you want to say hello.
Hello, hello.
And I'm gonna do most of the talking because there's going to be a lot of things happening, and Koala needs all his brain power to be able to run the game. So before we start, just quickly an introduction to Ori and the Blind Forest. You can see the glorious art of it already. It is a 2-day platformer Metroidvania, which means we are going to go and get skills throughout the game. And yeah, we're just gonna get started right away on a new save file on the normal difficulty. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, go! Immediately. And the first thing we're going to do is skip prologue. We're not going to see any of the lore of this game. Seriously, if you haven't played it, go do it. It's gorgeous. The lore is absolutely amazing. But yes, this is Ori. This is Sunken Glades. And we're going to go through all of the land of Nibel here. And the first thing you're going to notice is that we don't have a UI. UI kind of makes all the text boxes appear. It makes the circle in the middle appear, which is our experience. It shows our health as well as our energy, of which we are going to get our first cell here. And we're not going to have that open because it shows text boxes, it shows lore, and we do not want any of that in the speedrun. So here we see already another resource we're going to collect, and which is very important, which is experience. But before we get to that, we are picking up our first orb of the game, which is our little companion throughout the game. This is Sign. Normally there would be a bit of a text box here. Sign is explaining to us how the world works, but it's also our main weapon for the early game, so we can kind of shoot a bit. And normally we would use a lot of shots here to kill these flunkies, but we are going to get this experience, which leads to a level up explosion. And that just makes the fight a lot faster. So, since this is 100%, we're going to pick everything up. So there again, you could see the map opening and closing really quickly. That is also possible because we have the UI closed, and that just means we don't have to deal with text boxes. So right now we only have jump and run, and we're going to get slowly throughout the world. Don't worry about picking up everything just yet. Since this is a Metroidvania, we are going to get faster skills, more powerful skills, just more skills in general throughout. So here at the start, we're just going to collect the bare minimum to continue, to get to our first major objective, which is to get Dash, because Dash is quick. And you could see Koala there pointing his mouse and taking 2 intentional damage here, so he can quickly die after saving here, which we call a ghost door because the door just disappears and reappears after a short second. So that means we can go through it without waiting for the animation. Don't worry about it. This game is very well programmed. But yeah, we're on to our first actual movement skill here. This is Sunken Blades, as mentioned, and we are going to get our first skill that isn't a sign here, which is wall jump. And Koala is checking his experience right here because throughout the entire speedrun we are kind of curious about how our XP setup is because we do want some intentional level ups. The next one is coming up right here because we want to destroy these brambles and the enemies a bit quicker than just attacking them with sign. Nicely done here. And we're approaching our first tree. And most of the trees in this category, we're gonna skip the animation on. So you'll see Koala safe in front of it, open the ability menu, then do some shenanigans to be able to move while that is open, activate the tree, skill and ability, and that saves the game. So the game thinks we've already watched the cutscene and can move behind it. So while that was all happening, Koala picked up an energy cell. We do need a certain amount of energy cells to be able to move quickly throughout the world, to do some of our saving shenanigans, and just overall We are going to get back to this area, actually, because there is another pickup that we can't get to just yet. Finicky jump right here, but Koala does it quite nicely. And we're heading into our beloved area next. It's Blackroot Burrows. It's the area that was added in the definitive edition of the game, so it has 2 more skills than were present in the original game, and one of them is Dash. Now, we do want to get there as quickly as possible, but Blackroot Burrows also has the disadvantage of just being cycles. So there's cycles everywhere, it's incredibly slow, and yeah, we're just gonna get in there by another cutscene skip with a save anywhere. That was the trick we saw earlier to skip the tree animation, and after that we just have a slow, yeah, auto-scroller section. So if you have anything for us to say, so if you have anything as the host to say about the marathon, now would be a great time.
Hey, good stuff. Let me remind you of who we are raising money for. And that is indeed Girls Make Games, aka the GMG Scholarship Fund. In 2014, Girls Make Games were founded in order to provide girls with the space and resources to explore the world of gaming and help them pursue careers in game development. Girls Make Games has helped their alumni go on to graduate high school, college, and onto jobs in the gaming industry and wider STEAM fields. With help through your donations, the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund will give women and girls the support they need to help reach their fullest potential.
Ooh, unfortunate death from Koala here, and thank you for introducing the charity. It's a great cause, so please everyone, if you have a few cents to spare, a few dollars, consider donating. But yeah, this is Blackroot, it's slow, and it's kind of themed around this darkness, and there's this orb. It has lore reasons, and since we're just skipping all the lore, also nice one frame there, we're not gonna know exactly what it does. Oh. Ah, okay, so yeah, it's quite finicky. We do not have a lot of HP right now, so everything is quite deadly. So third try's the charm, hopefully. And yeah, this is the platforms, and the orb that we're picking up has, well, 2 main abilities. It makes platforms appear and disappear. So there are certain ones, like the one on the left here, that would disappear. We're not going there, that would be the intentional way, but it's slow. Instead, we're using some very precise movement up this wall right here, picking up the orb, getting this experience here, a timed level up, which kills the slime. And we're transporting the orb where it belongs now. So these lanterns are also activated via this orb. And speaking about lanterns is actually a great segue into our main issue for the early game. So one of the main reasons why we can't really full clear areas is that there are certain lanterns around the world, and one way would be to use this orb, but we can't really carry this orb outside of this area because of lore reasons. And the other option is a skill that we would get on the lower end of this area. However, we do not currently have a great way to get there, and especially a great way to clear that area, so we're going to get that later. And that means that all our routing kind of has to, remember that. So yeah, here we see another instance of platform that's appearing because of the orb. We're gonna see Koala skip one of the platforms with some good timing. And after that is some shenanigans with cutscenes. So we're gonna see the first cutscene getting started, being started with a save anywhere. We're not gonna skip it. Instead, we're using the timing while the cutscene is playing, but we're able to move, which wouldn't normally be possible, to get a pickup to our right. Then, once that is done, we're gonna see a cutscene stack. We're gonna see Koala move into a very precise position. So let's check it out. We're gonna kind of outmaneuver these crushes here because you're intended to have dash, but we can just get it before we get dash. So instead we're getting this pickup, and we're moving on to a very precise position so we can stack 2 cutscenes and move while this cutscene is playing. Now we're saving onto a lever and kind of glitching it out so it permanently activates and we can just ignore the puzzle it normally holds. So now we have dash. Dash is obviously the most quick skill in the entire game, and it has a lot of movement. But first, before we talk about this, this is the first instance of an out of bounds happening here. So Koala is getting pushed out of bounds with this boulder. This skips a very precise trick, and now we're into Moon Grotto, directly to our next skill, double jump. Trying to get a very nice cycle here, nicely done. That is insanely precise. Getting a level up here for the ability point, and just getting all the pickups here that are accessible. You will not be getting back to this area later. There's just some pickups underneath that we will go back for, but for now we're just gonna grab everything that's around here. Another instance of a ghost door, so we die after saving and opening the door. So we get to our next tree, and we're gonna see another blind movement section here. So Koala is gonna skip this cutscene and move while that is playing. There's a pickup to our left, though, so he needs to be very aware of how to get there. So let's see if he got it. Yes, nicely done, and got a lot of way here. So now we're moving back up, because our next objective, our next major skill we want to get is the bash ability. It's, if you've ever played this game, it's the most knowledge, like the most recognizable skill of this game. It's also the most powerful one, so we're just wanting to grab it. But by doing that, we want to get up here as quickly as possible, and we're gonna do this with a very precise jump up here, nicely done. This skips like a minute of platforming that we will have to do later, because after I explain maybe this is another escape sequence. We skipped a little bit of cutscene here to not have boulders fall on top of our head. It just makes the platforming a lot easier and a lot more relaxed, so we do it. And it kind of messes with the cutscenes, so don't worry about the cutscenes looking weird and the NPC here just standing still, not doing anything. It's fine. And this is also completely normal. We're gonna use the menu to kind of be able to move while this cutscene is playing. Then we're abusing the fact that at the end of the cutscene, the game saves, and that happens on top of the bridge, which normally would make us fall down, but because we're doing all of this, we can stay on top of it and get up there a bit quickly. But yeah, I wanted to go into how 100% works, because unlike a lot of other games, 100% in this game doesn't only involve getting all the pickups and doing all the story, but it also contains map percent. So we need to hit certain triggers throughout the map to make the entirety of the map visible to us. And if you ever see weird movement from Koala, or are wondering why he's doing a detour to something where seemingly there's nothing there, it's probably because of map percent. And that means that a lot of sections that we skipped right now, even though there's nothing there, we still need to get there later on. And here is a nice abuse of dash, making our hitbox a bit smaller so we can crouch underneath the stone to get in here. And we just picked up the blue orb that gets us into this dungeon. It's the water vein. Oh, Koala missed a bit of a cutscene skip here. It's very precise. We already got the water vein that Gumo is trying to steal here. Don't worry about it. We're watching all of the Gumo cutscenes in the wrong order. It's just the way it is because of speedrunning. Normally we're supposed to take a way slower route, and obviously we've done some out of bounds, so yeah. But this is the Ginso tree. It is fairly slow with our skill set, but since it contains the most powerful skill of the game, we just want to get it out of the way. And this is also the first area that we're actually gonna 100%. Because in the original version of the game, you couldn't revisit any of the dungeons, so you already have all the skills you need to complete this dungeon and get it to 100%. So we can do it right now as well. So here you can see Koala is doing a bit of a dip up there to make sure the map percent triggers, and now he's going to continue collecting all the pickups here. So yeah, this is just a very movement-heavy section, so if you want to explain a bit more what's going on here, Rexy, feel free to chime in.
When you say here, you mean the run that's not necessarily my job, but I can end up mentioning everything. And something about the marathon itself proper. Alright, remember, if you're just tuning in, this is indeed Complete-a-thon 2024. This is a charity event dedicated to completionist speedruns, and that includes 100% all collectibles, or even categories where you collect all of a specific collectible, just to name a few of them. And if you're interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Twitter to get updates about future events.
Thank you. So here we just saw a taste of combat on Ori. It's not very interesting in this game, so yeah, Koala tried to be as quickly as possible, having a certain pattern to it. But yeah, it is fairly straightforward and it will not get more interesting than that. Nice safety save at the end of the bus here, so to not have to redo it. Some of the deaths are just very quick to happen, especially if you are not careful with your health. You could see Koala there checking the map to make sure he has hit every single map trigger that's before the store, so he doesn't have to get back for it. And now we're seeing another instance of Ghost Door, so you can get quickly in here, and this is Bash. This is the most powerful skill of the game. What it does is essentially we take a projectile or an enemy, we bash it into one direction and ourselves in the opposite direction. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do here. We're also gonna see a bit of a frame perfect trick here, where if we hit it again after a singular frame, we can decide both the directions. So instead of having both directions decided by one thing, we can decide both directions independently. It's called a double bash, and we'll see it throughout the run. If I see two arrows at the same bash, that's what's happening. For example, right here. And yet again, Koala is actually full clearing this area, so we're getting all the pickups, including this energy cell right here. And with that, we're approaching the end of the Ginso tree. It is a fairly straightforward dungeon once you have Bash, but upcoming is a section where we first have to fight a mini-boss with some very optimized movement, and also yeah, maybe you see some hyperspeed here. That's because we save while dashing, and the dash speed is conserved after we die. So yeah, nice double bash to get the experience, because we need to have a very certain amount of experience here. You can see here that there are two sets of corruption, one to the left and one to the right. And Koala is trying to destroy both of them at the same time, so that we need very precise experience for that, because we are going to take this frog right here, bash it up here. Oh, not quite. And after we collect all the pickups in this room, or maybe we do already have the exact amount, we're gonna go for a level up here. So we're killing this frog and destroying both of the corruptions at the same time. Since the right cutscene was the second one to play, we're getting that there. And here you can see that the triggers of map percent are very, very big. So we only have to touch certain walls to be able to get that part of the map. Upcoming is another rekindle skip, so we save after activating the cutscene. And in this case, this skips the water animation of this escape. And this is just the most iconic escape of Ori and the Blind Forest. I love this music. It's insanely good. We're just gonna go through here, collecting all the pickups. Hopefully getting some nice time saves here. You can, for example, take this bash a bit further up. But since this is 100%, we kind of need to go up here and collect this pickup and go through all these nooks and crannies to make sure we get everything. By the end of this escape, as we're approaching it, Koala will actually turn on the UI. I think this is maybe the only instance where that is relevant. Because if you don't turn on the UI there, you will just stare at nothing for like 20 seconds. Because Sign is trying to talk to you, but you don't listen to them. So instead we're listening to them for one text box. That's all we're gonna see. After that, it's turned off again. And while that cutscene is playing, Koala is opening the menu again to be able to move during that cutscene. and he will save above the water, and the game doesn't like it when you don't save on ground. So instead it puts you onto the ground underneath. Since it's water, it pushes you down the water. So that saves a bit of time while swimming. Oh, just gets squished, but the save is here, so it doesn't lose too much time. The cycle is a bit better this time, so no worries here. We're gonna clear all of this water section because swimming in this game is just always slow. So since we're already here, we can just use the movement right now to clear everything. It doesn't get faster than that, really. So yeah, we're just getting all the pickups here. This is the swamp area of the game, and everyone just loves underwater levels, right? It's everyone's favorite in any speed game. In this game, we have only, since Koala is playing on KBM, we only have the 8 directions provided by WASD, but it doesn't really matter because outside of this, there aren't really going to be that many swimming instances. So we're moving up to our next tree, which is the stomp tree. You pretty much can structure the speedrun into 2 separate chapters, so to speak. The first one is just about acquiring all the skills we need to clear the map, and the second one is actually clearing the map. So here we're just making sure to hit that particular map trigger, but we're not concerned about picking everything up here because it would be very slow, and there is a grenade lantern at the top. So these we can only activate with a grenade, and we do not have that yet. It's gonna be one of the later skills. So yeah, just picking up this experience. Our experience routing is not done yet. We do have some other intentional level ups happening, so Koala is gonna be very careful about what XP he picks up here. And here's another trick coming up in a second where Koala stomps while saving, and particularly stomping while saving above water, and that means the stomp momentum continues after the save, so he can actually destroy this floor and get through, even though you normally can't stomp underwater. So instead we're now back into our Moon Grotto area where we were before, so we're just making sure to hit this trigger of the map and collecting this pickup because we are not going back here, failing a couple double bashes, but that's really okay. As mentioned, that's a 1-frame trick, so every time you see it happen, it's just a 1 frame. So yeah, now we want to get upgrades to our dash, because currently we're only allowed to dash on the ground. We can't even dash in mid-air. And while we would have the ability points to skill that, there's actually a constraint in the game that we need to have a certain skill to be able to skill the air dash. So that's where we're going to head next. It's a skill on to the left of us. We're just gonna stomp this peg that locks a specific pickup here, so we can get it right now because this is the best moment. But yeah, our next objective is just to get some upgrades to our dash and move on to the left side of the map. So yeah, swimming in this game, just always a great time for everyone involved. And maybe to explain what kind of movement tech you can use with dash, even though you do not have air dash, you can still kind of contain the momentum by jumping after your dash while holding no direction. That's called a dash glide because it contains your dash momentum in the air. If you do hold a direction while doing that, you just do not get that boost. Here we see another cutscene skip. Normally Sign would explain to us, hey, there's some things there. We're not concerned about these things there just yet. Yet again, because we do not have all the skills required to get to all of the pickups. But instead we're opening our ability menu and moving behind it. So we can actually skill the air dash, which is in the blue tree, and continue on. Because this is the tree that blocked us previously. So we're keeping the ability menu up here because we are going to skip another cutscene here. This is kind of the introductory cutscene that you would normally see right at the beginning of the game. But since we did some interesting routing in this run, we're skipping it right now, before heading to the left side of the map. So this is Valley of the Wind. It's a very convoluted area that just kind of connects the left and right sides. And since there's also another grenade lock pickup right here, we're not too concerned about that. But yeah, coming up is a very intense section of gameplay. We're heading up here. Our next skill that we want to get is the feather, which is one of the only skills that doesn't actually have a skill tree, but is just a feather that you pick up. And to get up there, we need to climb here. We also want to make sure that we collect everything here, so that involves stomping on a bird here, because the stomp shockwave actually breaks the wall next to us. And then we're gonna see a save here. This is very particular because Koala is going to go up here. He's going to aim a shot that should destroy some off-screen rocks, and he's going to raise it because he needs to unload some other rocks to be able to hit those. Then he's opening the ability menu to be able to do a save anywhere after the rocks are hit. That places him onto that scene where the rocks are, and that places him onto this pickup right here, so he can collect it and do a dash to get to the right where this feather lands. Normally you're supposed to have like a slow walk section to get to this feather, but if done correctly, he just lands directly on it and can collect it immediately. After that, he has just unlocked Charge Dash. Charge Dash is an upgrade to Dash that allows us to dash into enemies directly. And if you cancel it with a jump directly on the same frame, you can get a really high jump called a rocket jump. You'll see it right here. And now we're moving into our next area of the game, which is Sorrow Pass. Normally you're supposed to have wind at this point that pushes you upwards with the feather, but by just using this bird, we can get into this area prematurely. So nicely done. This is insanely difficult. Really great job for doing it first try. And now we're into Sorrow Pass. We're going to check these caverns. They have like 200 names. My favorite is the Dorito caverns because they kind of look like Doritos. And we're going to get all the pickups right here. And there's another tree on the left of us that we're going to collect, which is called Charge Jump. So we're going to pick up this experience and just make sure everything is cleared right here, this keystone right above, and we'll see another instance of Ghost Door. So he's going to save and die again, and we are on to our next tree. So this is Charge Jump. It does exactly what it says. You have a button to charge it, then you jump, and when you charge jump, you create kind of an explosion around you that, for example, destroys ceilings and floors. And normally you're supposed to have another skill right here, but since we're speedrunners, we can just abuse, for example, charge jump to get to our enemies. And yes. So now we're... Oh, unfortunate death, but luckily the tree saved. Ooh. Yeah, we still have 3 HP, and 3 HP is the minimum HP you have. And this is like super late game area, so you can die basically instantly here. But yeah, we have all the resources right here in this section. We're going to move to a teleporter, in addition to the definitive edition of this game. And we're actually going to get into another area right here. So Koala is opening the save menu, the menu right here to be able to save on the teleporter while teleporting. Normally that's 2 separate animations, but by doing that he can do them. So now we're back into Sunken Glades, our starting area, and we're getting back into Blackroot Burrows to finally collect that skill that was preventing us from full clearing areas. So Blackroot right here is actually the next area we are going to full clear. So we're just getting everything right here with some very clean movement, making sure to hit all of the map triggers. You might wonder if those blue stony things are pickups. They are not considered pickups by the game. They give you experience, but not a singular pickup. So they are not involved in 100%. Instead, we're going up here to the teleporter, which we didn't previously collect because we went out of bounds. And just making sure to hit all the triggers. We also do not need to put in any of the mapstones into mapstone altars. We do still need to pick up the mapstones, but actually using them to unlock the map is not required. So now we're into lower Blackroot Burrows. We're just avoiding some lasers. And yeah, seeing some nice movement here. This section is very interesting. And now we're skipping another 90-second cutscene via a save anywhere. And that will get us to our grenade tree. Just a side note, in the base game it's called Light Burst, but you will see why we as a community call it grenade, because you throw a ball and the ball explodes. So, yeah, while the name Light Burst is understandable, grenade is more intuitive. So, with the grenade we can now full clear this area, because this is where we're getting it, and Ori kind of has a way of making you use it immediately, so we're unlocking this grenade. Fun fact, you cannot move during cutscenes, but you can still bash. So if you initiate some movement before the cutscene and bash during it, you can get a nice movement like this. So waiting for the cycle here, because cycles are awesome. We're getting into this next area, just making sure we pick everything up, and we'll see Koala pick this one up. Normally you're supposed to kill both the frogs so this door opens, but with charge jump we can just skip that puzzle. Now we're just making sure to hit some map percent triggers and moving towards the right, because there's a boss fight coming up here that's not particularly slow, but there's a faster way by just going out of bounds, and this is actually a first instance of going out of bounds via a charge dash. So we charge dash into a wall. Actually, I'm not sure we're doing that here, but we're basically saving next to a wall, then unloading the wall by going far away from it, and that will push us out of bounds so we can actually get through here without dealing with the boss. So now this is Lost Grove. A very pretty area. This is, in my opinion, the prettiest area, and we see some double bash action. Unfortunately, dropped the double bash right here, so cannot do the fast swim action here. Another missed double bash. Yeah, sometimes they just drop. It's an incredibly high trick, and it's very understandable if you do not hit it. But yes, this is what we in the community call Lost Grove long swim, because we're insanely creative when naming. This is Lost Grove. It's a long swim. So yeah, just creative naming right here. We're getting right out of this water, getting the pickups on the right, and then setting up for our next out of bounds. In the late game we won't see, like, this is a fairly normal playthrough of Ori, since we do need to hit a lot of triggers and everything, so we're not breaking the game too much right now. Just making sure we collect everything. So we're just opening this up, and we're going to go out of bounds here again to skip another, I think, 2-minute cutscene or something like that. So Koala is saving next to the wall, going up here, making sure to deload it, and dying to this firm key. So because of this pickup, and also to say hi to the tumbleweed, we're going here. And now we're going back up into Sorrow Pass, and we're actually going to full clear it this time. So yeah, Koala just doing some movement that doesn't really matter right now. Is into Sorrow Pass now, and going to take this shot to break this wall right here, because we do not have the intentional way of breaking it right now, so that was actually one of the required double bashes in this run. And now we're going up, and we're actually getting the dungeon key to the final dungeon. We will not see that until right at the end, but we're gonna collect it right now because it is part of Sorrow, and we're already up here. This is, I think, the highest part of the map by far. So yeah, another 90-second cutscene that we're just gonna skip, because who wants to see lore? If you want to see the lore, play the game. Highly recommend, yet again. And we're kind of skilling in the green tree here, because we want that triple jump that is there in that tree. So now we're into Sorrow, and we're just going to clear it with some very clean movement that you can enjoy. So if you have any more things to talk about the marathon, now's a good time.
Alright then. So, we have a donate system right here in the Discord. I mean, in the Twitch chat even for Complete-a-thon 2024. If you're looking to do so, make sure to type !donate in chat to get the link to the Tiltify page where you can make a direct donation. And remember, you can put it towards the Sims 4 body poll and the incentives. So make sure to end up spending the money well with that one. We also have a QR code displayed on screen right now that can also be scanned using phones for easy access to the donation link.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely support the marathon if you can. And here we see the first instance of a lantern being lit that is outside of Blackwood Burrows. And one of the reasons we kind of need Grenade to full clear all of these areas, because there's pickups locked behind it. So we need to activate it. And yeah, moving through here, this is kind of the wind area, and we just have a lot of keystones right now. We don't actually need to open all the doors. You could see earlier that Koala was moving towards the door but not actually opened it. Because, yeah, this game is very arbitrary about what you need to do for 100%. Okay, so these lasers are all insta-death, so that's a nice safety save. You could see it right there. And yeah, fun fact, you can bash through this like little tiny crease right there with a very precise bash angle. It sometimes takes us a few tries. It feels like RNG. I'm not sure if it is. But yes, we're moving up here, just making sure to hit the map percent yet again. And yeah, if you see Koala doing some charge dashes and it looks like he's interrupting them, that's precisely what he does. You can interrupt charge dashes, and you want to do that because charge dashes cost energy. But if you interrupt them with a stomp in a particular time window, they do not take that one energy from you because I'm not entirely sure. It's intentional. It's actually intentional. And there you see a reverse rocket jump, so if you are below an enemy and do a rocket jump, you go up fast. If you are above an enemy and do a rocket jump, you go down fast. So that's what we did. And we're now into Misty Woods. And Misty Woods is very interesting for 100% because it is an area that kind of changes as you go through it. So the developers were nice enough that you don't have to do everything, but just the things that are in the final setup of the area. So for example, this ability cell to the left of us is in the final part of the Misty Woods, but we will not see the entirety of the second half of Misty, which is after we get the skill that is hidden in here. Instead, we're going to see some very interesting movement. So for example, these pickups right here, Koala is skipping them and also not worried about map percent because they are not important to Misty Woods 100%. So yeah, this is Climb. We will see Climb mostly in combination with Charge Jump. Because you can then not only use Charge Jump upwards, but also in the left or right direction, as well as anything in between, upwards and left and right. And Koala is saving here yet again as a setup to go out of bounds. So now he is in the void. This is the void. You're not supposed to be here, so the game continuously tries to set you somewhere. So yeah, we're now into an area that on the map is right next to Misty. And this is Fallen Ruins. This is the second dungeon of the game. We do not have the key to the dungeon just yet. We'll get it in a second, because we are just here to be able to use that orb and to use the gravity feature of Forlorn to go back into Misty Woods. So now we have left-facing gravity. We can just ignore all of Misty, and since the game is kind of confused what it's supposed to load, it just loads like hard-coded stuff. And one of this hard-coded stuff is a keystone door. Remember that we have plenty of keystones right now, so we did not need to collect all of the ones that we are supposed to collect in Misty. And now, by confusing the game, we can actually move while having this orb. Normally you're supposed to only be able to jump and run, pretty much. But now we can actually do all the crazy movement tech. And now we're going to see a very precise cutscene skip, so we're skipping the first cutscene here. We're going to wait a second to do another rekindle skip, and then there's some blind movement, so I'm just gonna be quiet for a second so Koala knows what he's doing. with that, we should have a few pickups here. The mapstone on the left, for example, was collected during the blind movement section. And how we're getting to this pickup, we can see climb and charge jump in action. And maybe it's time to mention another fun fact about this that will be more important now that we're in the second part of this run, which is just getting the actual 100% part instead of collecting things, instead of collecting skills particularly. And that is that the cells in this game, so the health cells, the energy cells, as well as the ability cells, have an 8-second window in which they will actually display this little, hey, I have found something animation that Ori does. So if you manage to either not touch the ground in those 8 seconds or collect another cell in those 8 seconds or do some other thing that interrupts cutscenes, you actually don't get that animation. So we will see Koala trying to do that in various ways. And so if you see that, do not worry. It is intentional to maybe be a bit more slow to avoid that cutscene. And if you're wondering, if you've played the game and you're wondering, hey, aren't we supposed to get to that area later and can just clear it then? No, we're not gonna get there in an intended way. We're gonna see some interesting shenanigans to try and avoid doing one of the escapes of the game. So yeah, now we're into Forlorn Ruins via the front door and not via the out of bounds way. And we're skipping cutscenes. We first skipped the intro cutscene into it, and then we skipped this cutscene with where the orb was by simply jumping over it. Now we're just here. We mostly avoid ignoring all the shenanigans surrounding gravity swap, gravity change. We're just using all of the skills that we have and aren't necessarily supposed to have right now. So we see some nice wraparound movement right here. A nice safety save that we will see throughout a lot of the end game because there are some very weird obstacles and we just want to avoid dying and losing a bunch of time. Here again, another dip to make sure we get our map percent while we move down and head towards the escape of this dungeon. So, fun fact, dash actually elongates your hitbox. So if you dash away from the door, it's the cutscene that is to the right of the door, without actually having opened the door just yet. So that's how Koala got in here a bit quicker. Now he's doing another save right there to be able to go out of bounds, so deloading a bit of the map, going back here, and going back inbounds here. And we'll just see him go to the right because there are 2 pickups right there, so I'm just going to stomp right there. And these lasers are insta-death, so he just needs to be careful to not walk into them. So we're going to collect the pickup to the right of us real quick and then move back towards the escape. And instead of doing the escape, we're just going to do a very interesting save again. We're opening our save anywhere via the skill menu. Oh, an unfortunate death here. But fortunately there was a safety save right here. As I mentioned, these lasers can be very annoying since they are insta-kill. So we're going back up and we're going to the escape. And we're going to see Koala setting up a save anywhere. So here's interesting to note, since this is 100%, we need to activate the wind. So we need to watch a certain part of this cutscene, but after that, we're fair game. We can go out of here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're waiting for a special cue. So basically, once the cutscene starts, it will pan out and show us back to Gumo, which was like the little ball NPC, whatever you want to call him. He's a Gumon. Very creative naming. And we're gonna save while the camera is panned there, which allows us to go back to that scene. So the wind has returned, and the escape doesn't actually have map percent, so we just don't worry about it. We can go back out of Forlorn. We should be at 100%. I didn't fully pay attention to the numbers, but we should be out of there. And yeah, Koala is just doing some movement that doesn't really matter here. So yeah, we're just going to start clearing swamp right here with a nice rocket jump to get up here, and our first instance of a grenade jump. So this is a combination of 3 skills: climb, charge jump, and grenade. If we cancel our climb, charge jump with a grenade, which is a 1-frame window, it kind of cancels, or it kind of makes the game forget to decelerate us, and that's how that works. So the deceleration is just a lot slower. And now Koala is taking some intentional damage because we're going out of bounds again, and he needs to die quickly. And since he has a lot of HP already, just making sure to be as efficient as possible. So setting up for an out of bounds here, and taking an intentional death so he can get to this energy cell. And now we're back into the stomp tree area, and we have the grenade that we actually need. So with a nice rocket jump, we can get up here, light the grenade, and move through, continue to move through here. Since this is also just clearing of the map, if you have any further incentives or anything else to note us about, Rexy, you can go ahead right now.
Alright then, let's give you another reminder of our charity, which is Girls Make Games. So yes, GMG believes in providing every girl and woman with the opportunity to discover their potential and talents through gaming and game development. With your donations, you're able to contribute directly to the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund that provides girls and women with the resources and opportunities to pursue careers in gaming through GMG's many programs, such as their 2024 college sponsorships, summer camp scholarships, and the new mentorship and internship programs launching later this year. This sounds like a great cause, so !donate in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And we're skilling Spirit Light Efficiency right here because we do want some certain level ups, and Spirit Light Efficiency gives us more experience for the experience we're collecting. So the experience routing in this category just continues. Oh, that's an activation of a cutscene we do not want, because you can avoid the trigger for the cutscene by just jumping over it, like so. And that just never activates the lasers, and since lasers in this game are insta-death, it's just nicer to not have to worry about them. But yeah, we are into Grotto right now, and Grotto has a lot of so-called energy vaults. So they are doors that you do not open with keystones, but you use some of your energy instead. So by taking care of our XP routing, we can level up while we are low on energy, and that allows us to just continue clearing this area instead of having to farm for energy or be slower because we can't charge dash quite as much. So that's the main reason we're concerned about our energy. But yes, this is back to double jump. If you remember, that was like the 3rd skill we got, and there's a mini boss here, but since we have every skill we could possibly need or want right now, yeah, I did not see a mini boss, not gonna lie. And especially in the late game, our combat options are kind of not fair anymore, especially as a speedrunner, because we can cancel some of our damage and stack it that way. But yes, we're avoiding the floor here because there would be a bit of a cutscene that we do not want to watch. Instead, we're moving to one of our first energy vaults right here. Just making sure to hit the map percent again. And we're gonna see another instance of a safe drop. So Koala is opening the ability menu for a save anywhere, and he's gonna save above the laser, but since he also saved above ground, the game is going to place him on the ground, which is underneath the laser, so he can survive. And with that, we have those 2 pickups. Now to get back out, we kind of need to turn off the laser, so he's going to do that. But it still saves time, because normally you're supposed to like go around, push a rock. It's really slow, so this is way faster. And now we're back into an area where we are pretty much just to collect some meppers, and so we're getting these 3 pickups right here, and then there's a chase sequence where we're supposed to chase Gumo, which was supposed to happen before we ever got the water vein. Remember, that was the dungeon key to the first dungeon, so we kind of were there already, and yeah, everything is just out of order. But yes, we're getting this pickup, we're getting the map percent here, Koala is just making sure that his resources are looking fine, and now we're going to see another grenade jump to get up here. And if you go rocket jump against the wall kind of makes you go upwards. So it turns your momentum around. And yeah, that is just a very nice tech use. And like all of these abilities just work together very satisfyingly. So yeah, now we're going to get into an area where we have two energy bolts right next to each other. So we want to hopefully get a level up right here. Right between those doors. Or right after we open the second rather, so we have actually movement options to yeah, so we don't just have all of our energy used there for that. So yeah, putting all of the energy in, and now we're getting the experience, and with this experience pickup right here. Oh no, that's an ability cell. Okay, it didn't quite work. Oh well. We can use grenade jumps because grenade jumps are cheaper in terms of energy. Oh, doesn't quite get it. But with that, we now have a level up and we have all our energy refilled. So now we can go into Glades, which, if you remember, was the area where we started. And we're only going around to clear it now. Because, yeah, there's some grenade lanterns right here. And this is a nice other abuse where you can drop into the water, and while the cutscene is playing for the animation of the lantern, you can already go down the water, so that saves a bit of a bit of time. So we're just going to clear all of this section. Yet again, a nice rocket jump, reverse rocket jump, which we call a meteor kick, to go into the water a bit quicker. Yet again here, and yeah, just very satisfying movement. This is really, like, this category just shows off everything you can do very nicely. So this is like the third keystone door you're supposed to open, actually like the second or something. And we're only getting there now. And yeah, because it's just so much faster to go around here with all of the skills that we have. And up there is the only stone that you can bash in the game. Fun fact. And yeah, now we're back to the wall jump area. There's this little experience pickup that we couldn't get previously because we didn't have the verticality to get up here. But with charge jump, it's absolutely no problem, and we can move further up. So we're going to go up here, clear some of this area, and move on to some other adventures. This routing has been optimized, heavily optimized. You can imagine how hard it was to like figure out what the fastest things are. And Koala avoided another cutscene there. He avoided it so nicely we couldn't even see it happening. And he's going to collect these pickups while the door is opening. So now we're heading into the connecting area, which is Valley. And we're just going to get the Valley long swim. Yet another very creative name, Vian Valley, and it is a long swim. You're gonna see just how long it is in a second. But yes, it is Ori community and naming, always great. So yeah, just cycles and swimming, everyone's favorite. And we're going to get another energy refill, so that is very nice for our movement options. Because remember that every charge test does cost some energy here. So, and safety save right here, because the cycles can be very annoying, and getting crushed is also an insta-death. Okay, nice. Pause right there to not get crushed. Very... a bit of an unfortunate alignment of cycles right there, but we're through it now. And we're getting back into the area we just came from, because we opened an energy door, and another great instance of naming in the Ori community. We're in Glades, and there's a laser underneath us, so clearly this area is called Gladeser. And right above us is a grenade-locked pickup, so clearly that's Grenadeser, right? Makes sense. So we're getting this pickup, and you could see the little animation for the pickup. And now we're here in Gladeser and getting this one energy. And you might see a lot of ability points in our inventory. We're going to need all of them for the final dungeon of the game, because we're gonna do some very interesting shenanigans there. But yeah, with another grenade jump, we're slowly approaching our final dungeon right here. This is the last area we are going to clear. This is Hollow Grove. And we're just going to zoom through here. So this is probably one of the last opportunities if you have anything important for us, Rexy.
Alright then, so remember we are here. If you've just tuned in, this is Complete-A-Thon 2024 and we've got some amazing completionist speedruns here. You may be thinking, ooh, can I end up participating with volunteering in a future Complete-A-Thon event? You can do! We always host volunteer applications beforehand, and they typically run alongside submissions and are announced on our Discord and Twitter. Keep an eye on those if you're interested in running production, tweeting the tweets, or maybe even hosting live on the mic just like me. Even if you're just looking to volunteer for the first time, we will be happy to help you get your foot in the door.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to everyone organizing and helping out with this marathon. I hope you're all having a wonderful time and continue to do so for the coming days. And yeah, we're just approaching the end game. We're getting through this area. We're going into the area that's called Horu Fields because it's the fields before Horu. Even the game is very creative with naming. And yeah, you might see we're at 15 health and 13 energy. And there's a total of 15 health and 15 energy that you can get. So we're really approaching the end right here. So we're going through this area, we're going to pick up the last pickups outside of the final dungeon, and then we're heading back in. Also, interesting fact, if you dash fast enough, you have like a small window where you are invincible. So we'll see a few instances of that, and there was a real nice showcase right there where Koala just dashed through a laser, because he just didn't care about the hitbox. So yeah, more ability cells that we will need for our saves, because this game also has the mechanic that the later you are into skilling abilities in the ability tree, the more expensive they are. So we pretty much depleted all our one ability cell abilities that we could skill, so now all of them are a bit more expensive and we do have less options to use them because we cannot unskill. So this is Mount Horu, this is the final dungeon of the game. It's a big volcano and there's a lot of lava, and you get rid of the lava by doing the rooms from top to bottom, because you stop the flow at the top, then you stop the flow one further down by unlocking the room. And yeah, we're just not gonna do that. We're gonna do the first room somewhat as intentional, and then we're just going to go out of bounds, skip the room right underneath us to go to the third room, and that prevents us from having to go back and forth through the room. It's a very long room, very precise movement, so instead we're just gonna go out of bounds here. And that's why we need all these ability points to be able to save while we dash into the wall, pretty much. So we're deloading the wall by going out of the room and taking a quick death. And Koala has assured me that there's a rhythm to this, and if you've done it enough times, you can easily get through it. But yeah, we're not gonna bother watching all of the cutscenes necessarily, because they are slow, and we do not need the lava to be gone, because as you can see, we can just go out of bounds pretty much wherever we want. So we just don't care. For example, here the lava is still there, but we just go out of bounds, go back into the room to deload the wall, and just move on to the next room like this. So just making sure to hit all the triggers, and we're going through this room. This is like supposed to be like a tiny escape, and so we're gonna do that. It has a bit of an auto-scroller because you need to wait for the lava. So we're gonna see Koala just standing awkwardly by the end of it. Oh, unfortunately takes a bit of a death. Wanted to show off some more cool grenade jumps. I can appreciate that. Grenade jumps are great tech. So yeah, Koala is not concerned about speed right now because there is this breakable floor right there. But the thing is, it's only breakable by this lava. So we had to wait for the lava, and we had to wait for the lava to disappear because it's also insta-death to us. Now we're getting a nice resource refill here with the level up. And we're going out of bounds again. Well, we're not going out of bounds, but instead we're saving while the camera is panned to the main room. So that will again reset our position to the main room. So now we've pretty much cleared all of the left side except for one room that we will get to in a second. And so we can move on to the right room after we do this. This is an insanely quick room. Blink it and you miss it, pretty much. Since yet again we're just concerned about map percent. The game doesn't actually care if you complete all the rooms, if you watch all the cutscenes. In horror, it's pretty much just about map percent and getting all the pickups that are in here. So yeah, we're going to see a weird instance where Koala hopefully gets teleported to a different door here. Right there, you saw him appear on the left instead of the right. And that is to skip a cutscene right here. If we do that, we just don't have to watch a 30-second cutscene or whatever. Don't ask me how exactly it works, I'm not too sure. But yeah, with the... Oh, unfortunately failed the grenade jump, but it's not required here, so we're good. And we're gonna do another save here and save during the cutscene of the rock. Because we do want to get pushed down. So we're gonna place ourselves while the cutscene is playing right here and get pushed. I have been told this is insanely finicky, so if Koala dies a few times here, that's complete... No, just gets it first try, okay. No worries here. So now we're into the next room, and yet again, we do not care about completing the room. Instead, we're gonna just care about the map percent. So we're going to go up towards, up through the room and go out of bounds right into the next room. And with that, we're pretty much almost done with Horu, so it's worth mentioning that we kind of want to complete the last rooms of Horu because they get rid of the downmost lava that is in Horu. And we kind of need to get rid of that because there's pickups there. And we do need all the pickups for 100%. So we're gonna see Koala actually doing this room. So he has access to the last room and can do that. So yeah, we're pretty much almost done with this run. He has to complete this room to be able to move through the lasers and get all the map percent here. And yeah, final room of Horu is about to happen. And that final room has 3 pickups, so we do not only care about the map percent there, but also some pickups. So the lava is still here, so again we're going out of bounds to... Oh? Didn't quite get it, so we have another try. Because we do have we have 1 try left, pretty much. Do we? Okay. So, hopefully it works this... Oh no. Okay. So we're going to go with a backup save because we, as you saw, we only had 1 point left. Oh, that's a very unfortunate backup. So the way the game's backup saves work, it's kind of hard to sometimes make a backup save that we are happy with. But yeah. Here you can see what I was talking about. This is a very finicky out of bounds, so sometimes you get voided, so you are in kind of a part of the out of bounds section where the game just instantly voids you. So you get reset to your old position, but yeah, now we get it. And we have to do the remaining rooms again. Unfortunate, but that just happens sometimes, so real good to recognize that you'd have to take a backup save here, because there wouldn't have been another way out of the room, unfortunately, because of the way we're doing Horu. So here's yet again out of bounds, and you can just see we have a bunch of abilities left, but we do not have the ability cells or ability points necessarily to get all of them. And it's actually not required to get all of those skilled to get 100%. And we saw a quick flash of Koala creating a different save right here from this instance of the game. So in case anything goes wrong again, he just has one more room under his belt. So yeah, just redoing all of this, we can admire some of the redness of Horu again. It's just a lot of lava and spikes everywhere. This is obviously like the final skill check, where the game makes sure that you know how to play and how to navigate all of the obstacles here. So yeah, everything is dangerous, and hopefully we manage to get out of bounds in the correct direction now. Okay. Hopefully it worked, we'll see. Oh, okay, was the wrong direction again. I'm just gonna make sure that Charge Dash isn't going to target the enemies around him, which is what caused him to dash into the wrong direction, because we use Charge Dash. And Charge Dash normally targets like the closest enemy. So, oh, that looked like it would target... No? Okay, we're good, we're good. We're into the final room, and now you can see another instance of just ignoring lasers because we're too fast. So, there Koala was a bit too fast and landed right next in the other laser. So we're just gonna ignore all of the puzzle of this room by just, yeah. Who needs insta-death lasers if you can just dash through them, right? So yeah. As mentioned before, we're actually watching this cutscene and actually letting the lava disappear here, so we can get to this pickup that we can see on screen, as well as another one on the right of the bottom of Horu. So yeah, we have like 4 pickups left in the run, and then we should be at 100%. So yeah, one thing to note is that on the left there's still some lava left because we didn't clear all of it on the left side. So Koala is going to do very precise movement here to get to this particular pickup. So he's going to rocket jump up and do a very precise bash angle. Nicely done. Has to kind of move around a bit of the hitbox, and this was the final boss. You saw it for like half a second on screen. So now we have one final pickup that we like to call validation pickup in the randomizer community that we get, because if you get there, you can basically finish the game. So if you play the randomizer, it doesn't really do anything. But yes, this is the final escape of the game. It features using all of the skills and also the main villain of the game. This is Kuro, by the way. If you want to learn more about her, you have to watch the lore, but we do not do that, so... Yeah, Big Angry Burp is chasing us through the dying or erupting volcano, and that's what that is. But since we have all the energy and health in the world, we can just rush through this escape with no problem whatsoever. Just going to use all the skills in our arsenal to get through this escape. In the last section here, you will see Koala trying to avoid a cutscene, a trigger for Kuro. So he's going to doesn't quite get it. So he activated Kuro, which probably means we will not see the final. We will see the final grenade jump. Oh, doesn't quite get it. Does unfortunately mean he dies. So we can see the escape again. Always great. Shoutouts to Gareth Kroger for just amazing music, by the way. All of the escapes are just amazing in terms of music. So we get through here again, some nice movement. Yeah, and we are nearing the end of the run. After the final room, if Koala gets the skip this time around, hopefully. So Koala needs to kind of weave around on the left side here after the fish section. So right here we want to stay on the left. Like this. Okay, nicely done. Now we can get up the wall and go onto this. And if we do a grenade jump, we just, in the right position, we just skip half of the final cutscene. So Koala is going to set up for that again because it saves like 40 seconds. And GG. This is not time yet. Time will be called once... I will call it out. So this is the final cutscene. Normally we would first move as Ori and then as our mother, who we'd also get introduced to if we actually cared about the lore in the speedrun. But alas, we do not. So yeah. This is This right here is Naru. She's very fluffy, and she's going to protect our little Ori. So time will be once we hit the next foreground tree, so time. GG. And yeah, we have everything collected. You see the 100%? Very nicely done. So this was Ori in the Blind Forest, 100%. No New Game Plus. Shoutouts to the entire Ori community. It's a bunch of very wholesome people. Everyone is very eager to help everyone. So if you want to join, you can find us at orirendo.com/discord. And you can also just find us on speedrun.com/ori_de. And everyone is just super willing to help out. I might not recommend this category specifically for newcomers. It has a lot of tech involved that's quite advanced, but there's a bunch of newcomer-friendly categories. We have the randomizer if you've just played the game casually and are looking to replay it in a bit of a different way, which is found at orirendo.com. And yeah, just a very great time all around, and nice showcase, Koala.
Thank you, 2Kill. I'd just like to take a moment to thank 2Kill for all of his help. I definitely would not have been able to commentate this entire run and run at the same time, so having his help was a big deal. I'm not that great at talking on stream either, so it's great to have an experienced commentator like 2Kill.
Always great commentating some Ori and getting to see some Ori on marathons, so I hope you all enjoyed it. You did great, Koala.
Thank you. I love this game so much. The speedrun is especially a lot of fun because of all of the cool movements that you can do, and it's why I'm still running it.
Yeah, I was not able to mention everything this game has to offer because there was just a lot going on at every moment. So if you want to learn more, there's plenty of resources. I would recommend Sigma Sins tutorials for all skills if you want to get into it. It's very detailed, it goes over everything, and it is very beginner friendly. So yeah, feel welcome to speedrun this yourself, and thanks for having us, Completed On.
Beautiful cutscene of Gumo.
Yes, this art is just amazing, and the second game just continues on right where the first one ends, and it's just as amazing. I think the first part has a bit more special part in my heart. It's such a great game. Highly recommend.
Alright, give it a big up and thank you once again for Super Fluffy Koala showcasing Ori and the Blind Forest 100% no New Game Plus! Oh, that'd be lovely and wholesome to end up checking out right there. And we've also got some fantastic runs happening much later on throughout the day as well. Everything is just clicking in together with oh my goodness, just looking in front of me, we've got Rain World, the Mega Man block, the city block that's happening later on, games like Melatonin and Mirror's Edge, The Witness, Portal, a whole lot of amazing games that are happening here this fine Wednesday as part of Complete-a-thon 2024. We've also got some amazing incentives that are going on right now, so when you type !donate in the chat and then bring in the amount of donation money towards Girls Make Games, then you have your choices right there to donate towards a poll. We've got male versus female body types for The Sims 4 Aspiration Grilled Cheese, which is happening later on today. So So you've got that to end up making your decision on. And we've also got incentives to met, $50 each for risk of, I'm gonna say, for what am I saying? For Rain World, the alternate ending, that is going to be absolutely amazing if that ends up changing up. That'll be great. And then the Glitch Showcase in Mega Man Extreme 2. What am I? My goodness. I need to actually make sure to actually double check everything in front of me. So yes, Mega Man Extreme 2. So getting to see 20 minutes of glitchy amazingness right at the end of that run would be great. So once both of these get met, that'll be amazing to see both of these just float around right there. Heck yes! On that note, this is actually the end of my shift, so we will be ready to pass it over at the start of the next run with Derek G and C taking over on duty. So thank you very much and have an amazing rest of Complete-a-thon 2024. I'll be back here again tomorrow for Sonic Block.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Derek GNC, and I will be your host for the next game, Rain World by Dreki. So just wanted to say hello, good afternoon. Thank you for watching Complete-a-thon 2024, presented by NoGlitchesAllowed. Like I said, I am Derek, and I'll be your host for the next few runs, and we are supporting the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund. While they are getting started up, why don't I go ahead and read you a few things about Girls Make Games. So, in 2014, Girls Make Games was founded in order to provide girls with space and resource to explore the world of gaming and help them pursue careers in game development. Girls Make Games has helped their alumni go on to graduate high school, college, and onto games in the gaming industry and wider STEAM fields. With help from your donation, the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund will give women and girls the support they need to reach their fullest potential. I have to say, as a father of two daughters, this is incredibly important to me. Making the gaming space more open and safer to girls and women to be able to be in the gaming space, to make games, and in those further STEAM fields is super important to me. So make sure to get in those donations right there. I would be remiss if I did not mention some upcoming things. We do have open polls. So right now we have open the Sims 4 main sim body type, the male or female presenting body types. That is perfectly open right now. Anybody can go in and steal the lead right now. As well as there is the run for the home ending for Rain World Downpour. That is open as well. So when you go to donate, make sure to select a poll and a target. You can select both, and you're maximizing what your money is going towards. So make sure to set up whatever you want, whether you want the male or female presenting body, and make sure to set up whether or not we're going to do the home ending for Rain World, as well as the Mega Man Extreme 2 Glitch Exhibition. I know I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so I am super excited to see that. So I think we can make that happen. The Rain World ending is going to end here pretty soon, so you're gonna have to go in and get that taken care of right now. I'm seeing a lot of good luck, Strecky and Ice. I wholeheartedly agree. Super excited to see this Rain World run coming up here pretty soon. So, for those who don't know what Complete-a-thon is, it is a charity event dedicated to completionist speedruns. This includes 100%, all collectibles, or even categories where you collect all of a specific collectible, such as all red berries or all shrines, just to name a few. If you're interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Twitter for more updates about future events. Like I said, super excited for everything, and we have some great runs coming up throughout the rest of the marathon. I'm super looking forward to all of that. Also, can we talk about how amazing that Ori run that just was up was? That was really cool to see. As a very casual player of Ori, that was some amazing work. It was intimidatingly good. So just wanted to throw that out there as well. Make sure to go check out our schedule so you can see what's coming up here pretty soon. We've got some amazing games. Like I said, Rain World is next. We've got some Mega Man. We've got some silly games. So I am super excited to see all the games coming up. I hope everybody has been having a great Complete-a-thon so far. Make sure to go check out those donations, like I was saying earlier. But also make sure you're hydrating and you're stretching. I know it is super easy just to kind of sit in front of the computer and just sit down and watch for hours. And we are happy you are here watching. But please get up, stretch, get some water. You are a plant. You need sunshine. You need water. You need the basic essentials of life. Even when we're speedrunning, it is a great idea to be able to stand up and to get everything taken care of. Looks like we're getting ready to start here pretty quick. So stick with us and we will get started with Rain World pretty quick.